Nigeria has messed us up and continue to. Just yesterday, Alaba International Market was burned to the ground. And at the end of the day, the same Nigerian government will go and claim that land. They will not rebuild that market for the Igbos, who are the occupants and the people that are dominating Alaba International Markets today are the Igbos that source money by themselves, for themselves, to build an empire for themselves.
Some of the features of the genocide that has been committed by the Nigerian government in Biafra land, and then this is the special report by Global Christian Relief about the extinction of the Christians, of the persecutions that we are having in Biafra land. So I want you to present this to our Congress lady.
Okay. I'll certainly pass this to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So let's.
Hello beautiful family, how are you all doing? Thank you for the maximum love and the support. So my beautiful people, today I want to share with you wonders the normally say shall never and see. This is Progress the Analyst, and here I keep you updated. I bring the world closer to your doorstep. So there is every reason why you need to subscribe if you haven't, and do well to share our videos. From the little clip you watch is a diplomatic update from the United States of Biafra Foreign Affairs. The United States of Biafra government has intensified its awareness on the ongoing genocide against the Biafran people. From the video you just watched, from the little clip when she was presenting her story, she was presenting her evidence that this is what the federal government is doing to the people of Biafra. Now, listen to this.
Biafra is being restored. Biafra is being redeclared. So everybody is trying to be nice so that they will say at the end, we have apologized. Why did you decided, they have decided to take another bold step? Like we said, we don't want anything to do with Nigeria again. We are not interested in Nigeria again. Nigeria has messed us up and continue to. Just yesterday, Alaba International Market was burned to the ground. And at the end of the day, the same Nigerian government will go and claim that land. They will not rebuild that market for the Igbos, who are the occupants and the people that are dominating Alaba International Markets today are the Igbos that source money by themselves, for themselves, to build an empire for themselves. And at the end of the day, the Nigerian government has the temerity to go and burn down their shops so that they can be able to grab the land. This is what they do to us. This is what they have been doing. And we are saying, whatever be the case, the only sorry that the Nigerian government will tell us and will accept it is by signing our documents on their table, signing the USB document that has been submitted by the government of United USB. That is the only pleas we are going to hear. That is the only sorry that we are going to hear by allowing us to go. And by releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that has done nothing wrong to the federal government of Nigeria, that has won the same federal government of Nigeria in their own competent court of jurisdiction in Nigeria, in Abuja. So this is all our demand. Our demand is just very simple. Let us go. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and every Biafran agitator that you kidnapped unlawfully or arrested unlawfully and detained illegally in your DSS facilities and in all the prisons in Nigeria. This is our demand. Very simple and very easy. And now today, every country is quiet, despite the revelation that is being made by the former president of Nigeria, Ibrahim Baramusi Babangida. Today is out there in the public domain. The world is quiet. UN is quiet. The Human Rights Organization is quiet. The EU is quiet today. All they know how to do is to fight for our mineral resources, to guard our people when they speak up for themselves. When they speak up for their people, they will kidnap them, jail them unlawfully, if not to kill them. And at the end of the day, all they will come to tell us is, please, we are sorry that this has happened. I saw Bayo Ononuga ranting his mouth this yesterday evening. A very stupid man man indeed, a useless man from the pit of hell. That is who Bayo Ononuga is. The same Bayo Ononuga that told the Igbos that this should be their last time that they would participate in anything called election in Lagos State. And today is working with the drug lord in Abuja today. If he's not the security advisor, I don't know the position he's in today in Abuja. If Nigeria was a working country, Bayo Ononuga today should have been detained for such comments, the regretful statement that he made. Like somebody said here today, a lady said here, that guns doesn't kill people. People kills people. And I want to use this opportunity, or the same thing that this woman said, to make a reference to an issue that happened in Lagos State in 2020. Lekki Toll Gate massacre. Who did that? Was it not the Nigerian military? Was it not the sitting president and the Lagos State former president, the present governor, and the present president of Nigeria today? And all these people are the leaders of today. When we were in secondary school and almost going to university, our parents will flog us each time they see us playing football game on our TV and tell us, oh, we are the leaders of tomorrow. We should go and study. If you don't study, you will end up being a conductor. Today is not the same. Today is not the case. In 2000, I remember in 1993, 1990 was 2003, yes. I remember when my father told me, if you don't study, you will end up being an area boy. And he took me by his vehicle, inside his vehicle, to Kirikiri prison, and showed me where criminals are staying and people that used to go to school. I was so scared. I had to start going to school, going for one lesson to another, because I never wanted to end up like those criminals that they call them in Kirikiri. But today, what is the case? Everybody, we have 2.6 million youth in Nigeria today that are jobless because we have some incompetent animals that feel that they are God over some people. After 2020, after 1966 genocidal war that was said to be Nzogu coup, it turns out to be that it was not. And Igbos have been massacred. And our people is still going through that massacre today. And our people is still going through those depression today by the Nigerian system. And all they will come to tell us, oh, we should forgive them. That is what Bayo Ononuga is saying this evening. And you people should go and hear the annoying statement he made. These people can never stand in one place. They can never be, there is nothing truthful about them. They can't tell you anything and you go and check your clock and it's the same. You go and check it and it's the same. Look, leave Bayo Ononuga till maybe in two or 1 year time. Go back and listen to him again. He will contradict his statement by himself. That is the kind of people that they are. No wonder Tinubu, the person that his boss is ranked to be the number 3rd corrupt person in the world. And today, the world is listening to them. Finland is listening to such people that breed Boko Haram, that use the money that they are supposed to use to develop their country and give to the less privileged to breed Boko Haram. This is who Finland are listening to. By not allowing our Prime Minister to speak to us today, Alexander Studd thought he's doing a favor to Nigeria. The oil that they have promised you belongs to the Biafra. That is the biggest mistake you people made, because that oil would have been given to you at nothing, even when Simon Ekpa was there. If this thing that you people never did it to our Prime Minister, this thing would have been negotiated within the Biafrans. An easy passage for you. But you have made it very difficult because of your greed and selfishness. I do not want to know what is happening now, but with the revelation that Donald Trump office has made, with the revelation that the Canadian embassy has made, should have been enough for Finland to have reacted up to it by now. But let us wait till next month and see what is going to come out of it, this whole thing. And that is where we are going to now start. Maybe we will match Finnish embassies and demand what rightfully belongs to us. Today, the world is quiet over this revelation, over this breaking news by the then former president of Nigeria. The whole world is quiet. I wish it was an Igbo man that came to confess that, that the coup that happened in 1966 was not an Hausa coup, was not a Yoruba coup. By now there would have been serious protest, massacre of the Igbos, or if not riot, war would have broken out.
Exactly, because I thought as much. Like, how wish this thing is the opposite, what would have happened by now?
That means there is no hope, even in the so-called 2027, although Nigeria's, existence to 2027 is hanging on a tree.
My lovely people, e be like say finally the ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, e be like say na now they comot am for bondage, because all this wey be say Goodluck Jonathan comot as president, he no dey put mouth for wetin concern Nigeria matter. He just go sit down one place, but now karma is chasing all of them. Everybody is beginning to talk. This 2025 is a year of exposition. Truth go dey come out. Things wey you never hear before, you go hear am. All the things wey be say they hide, una go see am. Everything go come to limelight, because Chukwu Okike Abiama is working, uprooting and exposing a lot. I want make una lis ten to wetin Goodluck Jonathan go tell Tinubu. No be Tinubu jare Buhari. Make una use una ear lis ten as Goodluck Jonathan wey be say no dey talk before. E be like say na now he just wake up for sleep. This one e shock a lot of people. I want make una use una ear lis ten, and no forget to let me know wetin una think after lis ten, and thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you never like am. Abeg make una help us like and share this video.
Today's date is 26th of February 2025, and I have breaking, or should I say, a very important information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Jonathan Ebele Goodluck, the former president of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, has indirectly indicted Tinubu, who happens to be the current Wayo president of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. So this very message is for Jonathan Ebele Goodluck. So I want you to pay very good attention, and once you come across this very news, make sure that you share it so that it gets to Jonathan Ebele Goodluck, because I have a very important message for him. And as you can see, we will be reading this very news from one of the Zoo media platforms, Sahara Reporters. And according to their own title, they said, "You can't get accurate vote count in Nigeria due to many ghost voters," says ex-president Jonathan. You can't get accurate vote in Nigeria. He said you can't. That means there is no hope, even in the so-called 2027, although Nigeria's existence to 2027 is hanging on a tree. Yes, it's actually hanging on a tree, because you are not sure. Nobody is sure, including Tinubu, who is currently, preparing himself for 2027. He is not sure if the zoo will last till 2027, especially if the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa is released as quick as possible. Now, let us continue and read this very news in full details. And they said, speaking at the Yaga Africa Reflection Conference on Democratic Elections in West Africa in Abuja, Jonathan emphasized the need for integrity within the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Former Nigeria President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday raised doubt over the credibility of Nigeria's electoral system, attributing inaccurate vote counts to the prevalence of ghost voters. Oh, say it go. Oh, say it go. Jonathan has finally found his voice to speak against the impunity of Fulani that is controlling the INEC and, of course, the presidency of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. So let's continue. Speaking at the Yaga Africa Reflection Conference on Democratic Elections in West Africa in Abuja, Jonathan emphasized the need for integrity within the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. He urged INEC officials to prioritize ethical conduct over potential pressure, stating that resignation is a more honorable option than compromising the electoral process. In Nigeria, you can't get an accurate count of votes. I believe that we have too many ghost voters, Jonathan declared. Your cry just the start, I'm telling you. If you are pressured to do what is wrong, you should be able to resign and walk away. If we don't have such people managing our electoral bodies, we are in trouble. First of all, he is currently indicting INEC, meaning that INEC should be scrapped and new body formed, or bring new people into INEC, people who cannot be easily, influenced. People who cannot be easily influenced by the politicians for them to do their bidding. Yes, bring this type of people into the structure, and then politics. In fact, that is the beginning of politics. That is the beginning of politics, where you allow people to choose their leaders, and the vote of the people is counted while their voices are heard. But I have a message for Jonathan Goodluck. Let's continue. The former president's remark come amid ongoing concerns about the credibility of Nigeria's elections, particularly following the logistical challenges, violence, and technical glitches that made the 2023 general elections. You see, now he is indicting Tinubu. He is telling Tinubu that you, Tinubu, and your position as the so-called Mr. President of the zoo, you are illegitimate. You are not supposed to be there. That is what this man is indirectly telling Tinubu after he has already indicted the INEC, meaning that INEC is not functioning. That the reason why INEC is being formed in the first place has become useless, because with INEC, the voice of the people cannot be heard and their vote can never be counted. Now, let's continue. Despite the introduction of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, and the result viewing portal, IREF by INEC, the polls were criticized for falling short of expectations. You never see anything, Jonathan. I have a message for you, but let us continue and read this in details. Jonathan also criticized the regionalization of Nigeria's electoral process, describing it as a significant barrier to electing capable leaders, meaning that Tinubu is not capable. He noted that regional and religious biases have infiltrated the system, even influencing predictions by religious leaders. I love this place. I love it. I actually love this place. Look at it. He said, he noted that regional and religious biases have infiltrated the system. Now pay attention. He said, even influencing predictions by religious leaders. Number one, he said that this shenanigan has influenced the predictions by religious leaders. So meaning that anybody who comes out to tell you, I know who is going to win an election, or this person is going to win an election, and that person is claiming to be a religious leader or even a prophet, that person is lying to you, because this whole ethnic bigotry and all of it in the zoo by I am a Fulani man, I am a Northerner, I'm the one who's supposed to rule, it is my turn in Miloko, it has all influenced, the predictions of the so-called religious leaders. Now, as if that is not enough, this same place also tells us that what they usually do is prediction, not, assurance, not prophecy. It has absolutely nothing to do with prophecy. You understand? What they do is prediction. Even those who are not being influenced by, political, so-called political elites, those religious leaders claiming to be prophets and pastors who are not yet influenced with their financial powers, meaning that whatever they tell you is all about prediction. There's nothing. It has nothing to do with prophecy. Now let's continue. When the electoral process is so regionalized, we are going to have issues, he said. If our system, before I continue, first let me analyze this. Maybe this is where I will start sending my message to Jonathan Goodluck. Yes. Now, according to him, he said, when the electoral process is so regionalized, we are going to have issues, he said. Now, it is in the open that the zoo politics and politicians always play regional, religious, and tribal games in politics, in the zoo politics. We all know this. So, therefore, Ebele Jonathan Goodluck, haven't you seen that such a thing can never stop? No matter how much you preach, it can never ever stop. This regional, tribal, and religious politics that they play here has nothing to do with the true democracy that we are talking about. And there is no end to this very type of dangerous politics that they play here in the zoo. Haven't you seen it? Haven't you seen it, Jonathan? Is it not the right time you stand up and say, no, this cannot happen again. Let us divide this, entity and let everyone go their separate ways? Jonathan Ebele Goodluck, is it not the right time? Since you already know these things and you also know that it's not going to change, it can never change, no matter how much you preach. Can't you use your position and call for the vision of the zoo? Can't you use the position? Or do they also have your secret? Does Fulani have your secret? Do they know what you know? Or do they even know what you don't know that you did? Or what you don't remember doing? Do they have your secret? Are they going to come after you just the same way they will come after all the Igbo criminal politicians who have looted in the past and currently looting? Do they have your secret, Jonathan? Did you loot? Did you steal? Did you rob the people? And Fulani is aware? Britain is aware? Why can't you, if you are innocent, use your office and your position to call for total disintegration of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom Nigeria so that everybody goes their separate ways and, of course, develop in their own pace in their nations? Of course, he cannot do that because I believe that they have his own history. They have his own secret. He said, if our systems for electing leaders are not fine-tuned to the level that the voter card will work, then what is the point of democracy? Who will I ask if you ask me, Jonathan Ebele? Good luck. Mad people everywhere. He said, the former president called for a robust electoral system that ensures transparency and accountability, stressing that democracy can only thrive when votes are counted accurately and leaders are elected based on merit rather than regional or ethnic considerations. You see, he said transparency and accountability. The Fulani that runs the government of the zoo, or should I say, the Fulani that removed you from Asorok. We all know that Fulani removed you. They used Jega to remove you. Now, since you are talking about transparency and accountability, do you think that Fulani that removed you in Asorok will ever allow transparency and accountability in the zoo? Knowing fully well that if they play the politics of accountability and transparency, they will lose. Fulani will lose woefully because even their own Fulani tribe in the zoo cannot vote for their leaders. Yes, oh yes, I make bold to say that. Yes, because you cannot vote for a terrorist to come and rule you. He is going to terrorize you until his tenure is over. You can't vote for somebody or people with questionable characters, people who are already known to be terrorists, sponsoring terrorism in the northern part of the zoo. You cannot vote for such people. People who have, cockroaches in their cupboards cannot be voted even by their own people to lead the entire nation. Did I even want to say nation? The entire zoological republic. So they will lose and they will never ever smell the power again. If you bring transparency and accountability, the likes of Tinubu can never ever smell a sorok. Yes, even P2B can never ever smell a sorok. If you are talking about transparency and accountability, because I will first of all ask you, for complete 8 years he ruled Anambra, is there anything to write home about in Anambra? As in, P2B was here for 8 years. What did he do? Did he give us free education? The answer is no. Did he build road networks? The answer is no. Did he give us steady electricity? The answer is no. Did he give us basic infrastructures and amenities? The answer is no. So what did he do? Next one, they will come on my comment section and tell me, oh, he paid the teachers. That is a shame. Is it my responsibility, me as Odinanwa, broadcasting here on Biafra Unite TV, is it my responsibility to pay teachers? It is one of the common, responsibility of every leader, be you governor or, president, to pay your workers. It's not my responsibility. So any governor that pays teachers cannot boast of, paying teachers or working for the people. No, because it's your responsibility to pay your workers. Now, they said Jonathan also highlighted the challenges facing other West African nations, citing recent elections in Sierra Leone and Senegal, where allegations of voter intimidation, ethnic tensions, and controversial results undermine the credibility of the polls. You see? Now, let me finish it. In contrast, he commended Ghana's 2023 general elections as a model of peaceful polling and smooth power transfer, despite limited technological applications. Nigeria must set an example by conducting clean and peaceful elections, Jonathan asserted. As a country with significant influence in West Africa, we must lead by example in upholding democratic principles. Who are you telling this nonsense? Fulani. The former president's call for reform resonate with growing demand for transparency and accountability in Nigeria's electoral process. Just a play. If the zoo stays till 2027, the same thing will still happen. All this your useless grammar, transparency, and accountability does not imply. In fact, Fulani doesn't care about this nonsense because they know if such a thing happens in the zoo, they will lose. So my direct message to Jonathan Goodluck is for you to join hands and call for total disintegration